Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lemon, and this is my prediction video for SummerSlam 2025. But before we get into that, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. Shall I leave a like, comment below, let me know your prediction on SummerSlam, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. But now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So yeah, this is the prediction video. This is where we're going to go night by night, and we're going to try to predict not only the winners of every match, but also the order of the matches on which they will go. I have the list right over here. I'm going to try to do better with these prediction videos because they're a lot of fun and they always do pretty good on viewership-wise. So yeah, night one, what we call Summer Saturday. What I have kicking off is Bloodline versus Team Braun. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. And I think this match is pretty cut and dry. I think it's going to be a good, warm-up match. I know there's been a lot of talk that supposedly this match is going to main event. I don't think it's going to. And I don't think it needs to. I think, and I do believe in Roman's contract, is that if he doesn't go last, he goes first. And there's only very, very few exceptions to that rule. So yeah, I think it'll be a good opener. The crowd will get hot at the beginning. You got Jey Uso's entrance, and then you have Roman Reigns' aura, Braun Breaker coming up, Bronson Reed is there to take the pin. I think it's pretty clear, and there's nothing wrong with Bronson Reed taking the pin, because then you get to Raw, then he tsunami someone 5 times in a row, and then he is completely reset after that. And yeah, this match doesn't need to go long. I think we can look at about 10 minutes, maybe 12 at max. Team Braun has control for the most part of the match. Oh wow, they are such an efficient team. They really cut the ring in half. Jey Uso is really getting his ass kicked, and it's just a build until Roman hits that hot tag. He helps clean house, and he pins Bronson Reed for the 1, 2, 3 after a few spears, maybe 3, and maybe Braun Breaker needs to go through the barricade to really solidify, because I think the thing is that we just need to get Braun Breaker over as a monster. And as long as we do that, we do good. But yeah, there maybe will be some frequent tags between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns early on. But yeah, at some point, Jey Uso is going to be in the match for a really, really long time, selling for both Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. And then Roman Reigns finally gets the hot tag, cleans house, spears Bronson Reed maybe 3 times, 1, 2, 3, bombs your uncle, and we have a nice hot start to Summer Saturday. So that's what I have it at. Then after that, I have the next part of the Bloodline, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, this match is a little tricky. It's not as easy to predict as the opener that I have, because it all revolves around what is Karrion Kross's contract situation, right? Because if the rumors are true that they haven't even talked to him about extending his contract, which again we have to take with a grain of salt, then you would have to assume this is his swan song, right? Because his contract, again, is rumored to end in August. So if that's the case, then Sami Zayn needs to win. With that being said, if he is to be extended, is that Karrion Kross does need to win. But he does need to win by pinfall or submission. Because again, the whole story is that Karrion Kross wants Sami Zayn to admit the truth. He wants to admit the truth. And now it was established on Monday Night Raw, when they had their sit-down segment, of that when Karrion Kross wins, Sami Zayn needs to admit that he was right. And then if Sami Zayn wins, then Kross needs to admit that he was wrong, right? And, there's this pipe. This pipe has been a focal point within the storyline. So within that, Sami Zayn can lose, but he loses by disqualification. So the story of the match is that Karrion Kross is just going to try to goat Sami Zayn into disqualification, because that proves him right. And then Sami Zayn, in the heat of the moment, realizes, oh my God, I'm wrong. And then he realizes that he's wrong. And then we continue the feud from there. Or maybe we do play a little bit with this, shades of gray when it comes to Sami Zayn, which I think he can do with. Which I do hope it is the finish. I think that is the most interesting route to go, is that Sami Zayn loses just in a bit of rage, and it does have him to admit that he's wrong. But, if Karrion Kross keeps poking the bear, but you don't feel bad for Sami Zayn for doing what he did. So that's what I have as the finish, right? Is that Karrion Kross wins, but he wins by DQ because Sami Zayn does hit him with the pipe, with the ref seeing him, and then Sami Zayn has to say, Cross, you were right, I do have a darker side, and then we play with that a little bit as we move on. But if Karrion Kross's contract is to be due, then yeah, Sami Zayn wins. Cross admits that he was wrong, and then he goes off and to do whatever he does. But I do think WWE would be making a huge mistake if they did let him go. Now, moving on to third is our first of 3 title matches on Summer Saturday, and I have the WWE Women's Tag Team title, the Judgment Day, versus the Allies of Convenience, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And I do think this is our first of what could be many title changes for SummerSlam, which probably is what SummerSlam needs to do, since we are trying to really establish it as the second biggest show of the year. And maybe it's third, but it's the only other one that gets 2 nights, right? So, and I do think Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are winning. I think we have something very special with this group. I think this can go all the way up to 42. Maybe they lose the tag titles at the Rumble, and then they're in the Chamber, and then they take each other out. Then we do the proper Charlotte Flair versus Alexa Bliss match at WrestleMania 42, because apparently this was supposed to, that one-on-one match was supposed to happen here on SummerSlam, until it was Charlotte that said, no, we're doing a lot of good stuff here. I'm having a lot of fun. Let's keep this going. And I think the only way you can keep this going is that Charlotte Flair wins gold, because that is her character. That is what she is established by. Although it would be interesting to see them lose and then see how Charlotte Flair reacts to that, because Charlotte Flair is having so much fun right now. And, they make that point to call it out on commentary, is that, look at Charlotte. She's having such a good time. So maybe that is a route that we can go, but I don't think we need to sit on a ceremony here. Charlotte and Alexa win. Judgment Day lose their first set of titles, and I do think this is when we do continue to start the cracks within the breakup of the Judgment Day. I'm not sure where we are time frame wise on Liv Morgan's return, but I think once she returns, then we blow this thing up completely. Not necessarily that I want it anymore. I think Judgment Day is doing a lot of great work. I think Roxanne and Raquel have really found their stride, especially Raquel Rodriguez. Has really found her stride with, working bigger. What Kevin Nash said that is something that she should do. And Raquel said, I'm going to take that. And she has been applying that, and it has helped her tremendously. Roxanne's always great. We need to get her music back. But yeah, I just think it's Charlotte and Alexa's night. Now, after that, then I have the WWE Women's title on the line. Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill. This one is not as easy to call. It was easy at one point when, you had the Naomi factor being cashed in on, and that Jade would win and then Naomi would cash in and take the title away from her. But now that's gone, and now who do you go with? One, the build to this match has not been great. They both baby faces and they're both helping each other, and they don't need to help each other. I think both characters have a bit of shades of gray, where it's like, why would I help you? You need to be focused on me. Why are you dealing with Chelsea Green? But that's neither here nor there. If there is to be a draft post SummerSlam, which is rumored to be the case, who do you have go red? Because not both of them are going to stay blue. I think, some big names are moving over to SmackDown, some big names are moving over to Raw. And is it time that you send Tiffany Stratton to go red? My gut right now tells me Jade Cargill is winning. That's who I have as taking the pinfall. But within that, I also question what is the status of Bianca Belair. And if that is the case, do you need Bianca versus Jade to have a title? I think not. I think we do need to be more... WWE needs to take women's stories more seriously and not make everything evolve around the title. Tiffany Stratton, yeah, sure, she needs opponents. And maybe Jade winning the title gives it, that, recharge that I do think maybe the WWE women's title needs, because the women's world title is just really up there. And the WWE women's title can compete sometimes, but the title on Raw is just much more established. And I think, a lot more people are looking forward to the world title than they are to the WWE women's title. And I like both girls quite a bit. I've enjoyed Tiffany Stratton's run. Granted, the stories haven't been the best, and she's faced Nia Jax the most, and I'm really tired of that, but I am a fan of the character, and maybe she does need to lose, so maybe she can reset to being heel. But my gut just tells me right now Jade Cargill. Now, if Bianca Belair is to be cleared, then maybe you do keep the belt on Tiffany, because again, I just don't think Jade versus Bianca needs it, because we do need to address it. We do need to address that. Or does Bianca go red? Or, Jade and Bianca have a conversation, and then, it's Tiffany versus Bianca. Like I said, we need this depth within the WWE Women's division on SmackDown. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I'm not confident in this whatsoever. I don't know if you can tell within my voice, but I will go with, we'll have 2 title changes back to back, and I have Jade Cargill winning the WWE Women's title, just to give it that adrenaline that I do think that title does need. No offense to Tiffany. It just might be a time for, a fresh coat of paint, and that might be just Jade Cargill. But I am looking forward to the match. I wish the build was better. But I enjoyed both girls. I think they're going to have great chemistry. If anything, from that once match that they had on, I believe it was the SmackDown after WrestleMania, ended in DQ, but now we're going to get it properly. And, the little bit that I had on that SmackDown match was a lot of fun. So I think the match will be good. It's just not as cut and dry to call as some of these other winners go. And after that, I have RK Roll versus Intrusive. I don't know. I was thinking of tag team names, and that's what I came up with. So yeah, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. So if you haven't figured it out by now, I have night 1 going tag, single, tag, single, tag, single, just to keep it a little fresh to me. Will it actually go like that? Who knows? This is a prediction video, and that's how I predict it. But yeah, I think they've done a good job with the build of this for this match. Now, again, because a lot of people attack me every time I say, hey, they done good with the build. No, I did not want this. No, I still do not want it. If I could be in my own perfect world, it would just be Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul would be facing someone else. Have him face LA Knight again, since he's not going to be on the show. Excuse me, sorry. But we are here, and this is what we got, and I think with what they've done, they have done a really good job, and Jelly Roll has really put in the work, and I'm excited to see what he does in this match. Now, I don't think this needs to be anything special. I think it's the co-main event because of Jelly Roll. But yeah, Randy Orton is going to be doing most of the work. He's going to get the tag to Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is going to do very well. But right now, I have Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul winning. And Drew McIntyre is going to be there. He is on a private jet right now. I honestly had no worry when that was going around with the news, because he was doing the video. I was like, he's going to get there. WWE can do anything. They let Jey Uso, or was it Jimmy, into Canada, and I don't think he's allowed to go in Canada, but yet he's able to go every single time they go over there. So they were going to get Drew McIntyre flown over here one way or the other for SummerSlam. So yeah, he's going to be there, and I have them winning because I think Jelly Roll will be down for this, because this would be a moment. We have been teasing the Randy Orton heel turn, and by what I have predicted for night 2, I think the back half is Randy Orton versus, the WWE Champion. And Randy Orton is going to turn heel here, because he's going to put in a lot of effort. He's going to be really caring, because, they had that tidbit on Saturday night's main event where Orton was like, I shouldn't have let you out there. You shouldn't have been over there. I should just been taking care of it. So Orton is going to try to take care of it, because he really wants to win, and he wants to shut up Drew, and he wants to shut up Logan Paul. But at some point, he's going to realize he has to tag in Jelly Roll, and Jelly Roll is going to perform decent enough to put him in a chance to win. But Randy Orton is going to be so tired, and maybe he does that distraction thing where he attacks like Logan Paul or whatever, and then Jelly Roll is going to get Claymored, and then pinned 1, 2, 3. They lose. Randy Orton's going to help up Jelly Roll. Hey man, it's okay. And then he's going to RKO his ass to solidify him as the heel. And then we go into the back half of 2025 with this amazing feud that we got teased with a little bit on Night of Champions. Cody Rhodes. I'm just going to go ahead and call it out right now. But we'll still talk about it more when we get to the ending with how the actual booking of the match. But yeah, Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes finishes off 2025 after Orton turns heel here, because he got the win at Saturday Night's main event, and Drew needs some wins. So I'm going with intrusive Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul to get the win, and this is what sets Orton off, and he RKO's Jelly Roll, and then boom, we're off for the races for the back half of the year. And then that means night one, Summer Saturday, closes out with the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther versus CM Punk. Again, not as clear, especially with the rumor that the Seth Rollins injury is a work shoot and that he will be returning to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I do think is the right choice, but I don't think it's going to happen here. I am going to allow myself to be open to get worked. And I am going to go out on a limb and say Seth Rollins is not going to return here at SummerSlam. Now, with that said, I do think the Bronze are going to get involved because Seth, again, he will not allow himself to let CM Punk win a title. But I think this is where Gunther starts to show a little bit of the anti-hero phase that we've been wanting to see more of because, yeah, he's a heel, but he talks shit to anyone, right? And Gunther is very much about respecting, hey, because he never really cheats, right? So if someone's going to come in to try to help him, he's going to feel slighted by that. Like, no, I can do this on my own. And we get a brief team up with Gunther and CM Punk taking out the Bronze, even though they were already out there. And then that's when, after that, CM Punk takes advantage, hits the go to sleep, 1, 2, 3, and CM Punk wins the world title. Because you have to tease the Bronze. Seth and Paul Heyman are going to want to try to sabotage CM Punk in one way or the other. And if Seth can't be there, the Bronze have to show up. But within that, you get Gunther showing, hey, I can help you. And that also protects Gunther from losing the title and not having to take a clean loss completely because, yes, he helped CM Punk, but CM Punk took advantage of him. And then, again, that also helps within the back half of 2025 as well. And we can get some more promos between CM Punk and Gunther could be like, you didn't beat me clean. Well, I can beat you clean. And then round 2 is a steel cage match. And then, or maybe you do a traditional match at that point because why would the Bronze be out there now? Because CM Punk already won the title, I guess, so that you can ensure that he loses the belt and you can keep that Seth Rollins feud alive. But I think at that point they back off a little bit. But yeah, that is my prediction for how Summer Saturday ends. CM Punk wins after Gunther helps him to clean house from the Bronze, and then you have some shades of gray heading to the back half for round 2 for Gunther and CM Punk, because Gunther would be like, you didn't beat me clean, and Punk would be like, I can beat you clean. And then there we go. Then you get a little bit more of a house divided as we move forward. Now, we move on to the Sunday Slam, is what I call it. I'm so creative with my titles, right? But yeah, night 2 I think is pretty easy. The Women's World Title triple threat opens up. Naomi versus Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky could possibly steal the show. And I think Naomi is going to hold on to her title. She is going to retain. I think Rhea and Io are going to be so focused on each other. I think the story is simple. Naomi's going to be like, y'all go ahead and go at it. Rhea, you think you can beat Io, you go ahead. And then, they team up on her. They take care of her a little bit. Naomi, I see her sitting out a little bit. And I think it's going to be Rhea and Io really carrying the whole entire match all the way through. And then Naomi just kind of dastardly gets the pin. Maybe it's a roll-up, or Rhea hits the riptide on Io. Io's going to be taking the pin for sure. She finally hits the riptide, throws Rhea out, takes the pin, 1, 2, 3, so that Rhea still hasn't beaten Io, but she does have the 1, 2, 3, and then we can move on where Rhea, that takes her out of the world title, and then at Paris, you do get Rhea versus Io one last time, and then Rhea can finally get her win. Although I do kind of like the idea that Io is constantly her kryptonite until Rhea is ready to wrap up her career. Again, I think that's a storyline you could just keep going back to for years and years to come. But I do think it's about to end, and Rhea's finally going to get her win. Rhea being a program and Io being a program where you don't necessarily need a title. It's just about, I can beat you, Io, and I just need to do it. It's a good ending, and it could keep her occupied until maybe she gets the title back post-Clash in Paris. Well, no, because I have Stephanie Bakir winning in Paris. And then, we move on. Maybe she goes blue. Maybe Rhea goes blue and goes after the women's, the WWE women's title. And you get a Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Whoo, that could be a lot of fun if we actually put some effort into it. But yeah, Naomi holds on here with Rhea getting the riptide on Io. After Rhea and Io really carry the whole entire match, it's going to be a one-on-one where Naomi's just kind of sitting on the side. Maybe she jumps in every once in a while, but they push her out of the way, and they're just focused on each other. And then like, okay, we can't focus on the title until we finally settle this. Let's have the one last match at Clash in Paris. And then after that, we have ourselves a TLC match. And I am going to look at my notes all the way through here, so please forgive me. But yeah, we have the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY versus Fraxium versus Andrade and Phoenix in a TLC match. 12 bodies, could get up to 21 if you add Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan. They're going to get involved in some way, shape, or another. And then if you add the ladies, B-Fab, Candice LeRae, and Nikki Cross, Sister Abigail, who again I think is going to get involved. I think we're going to have Candice LeRae on a table, and Nikki Cross is going to jump off a ladder and crush her through it, and B-Fab is going to be there as well. Maybe she jumps on both of them. Man, this is going to be a clusterfuck, and it's going to be amazing. Again, it has the potential to be the match of the weekend for sure. I'm going for Fraxium. A lot of people are saying Andrade and Phoenix. I wouldn't mind that necessarily, but I do think they have a lot of faith in Fraxium, and I don't see the Wyatts holding on. I think it's a good way for them to get the belts off of them. But yeah, I have Fraxium winning. This is going to be a lot of carnage. It's going to be a lot of fun. It could be a clusterfuck, but again, it also has the potential to be the match of the weekend. Don't really have a lot of spots in my mind. Again, I just think the ladies are going to have a spot. I think Eric Rowan is probably going to be doing a monster spot as well. We'll definitely get a Tower of Doom spot. People are going to be jumping off of ladders. People are going to be going through tables. There's going to be some makeshift chair contraption on the corner as well. But yeah, when it's all said and done, I have Fraxium holding those belts at the top of the ladder. And then after that, we get the cool-down match between the men's IC title, Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. At first, I had AJ Styles winning because, again, to give the winner away, I have Cena losing in the main event. And then after that, we have an epilogue to his heel turn before he fully turns back to babyface. And that epilogue is in Paris facing AJ Styles for the IC title because he already broke the 17th world title reign. Why would he need it? So the heel tendencies calm down a little bit because, it's like the ring from Star Wars, it's off of him. So, the evil lore is just going away from him. But there's one title Cena has never won, right? And that is the Intercontinental title. And there's one last foe that he needs to face. And AJ Styles just so happens to have it. And, that French crowd, how much they love AJ Styles. I think it's perfect. Like, it's right there. Like, just do it. It's the easiest story to ever write, right? But then AJ Styles pinned Dominic Mysterio 1, 2, 3 on Monday Night Raw. So now they gave AJ that because Dominic is going to hold on to his title after this. And you know what? It's fine. It is what it is. I'm going to be pulling for AJ because, again, I hope my epilogue theory is true. I no longer think that. I don't know what Cena will be doing in Paris. If that is not the case, maybe he faces Dominic because, maybe we do Furley turn him babyface and Dominic is his first heel opponent. That could be fun too. Yeah, I would like to see AJ versus John Cena one last time with the roles reversed. But yeah, this match doesn't need to go too far. I think there's going to be a lot of interference. I can see JD and Finn Balor getting involved as well. That what causes AJ Styles to lose. Maybe, if Karrion Kross has to move on from Sami Zayn after this and he is going to stick around. We never went back to Kross versus AJ Styles. So maybe Kross costs AJ Styles the title there. Then we can move into that moving forward. But this match will not end clean. It's not going to end clean. There's going to be a lot of interference within it. See JD McDonough, see Finn Balor. And again, maybe Karrion Kross shows up if he is going to stick around post this when he goes to a new target. But yeah, after Monday Night Raw, I no longer think AJ Styles is winning. I'm going to go with Dominic. But I will be pulling for AJ Styles on Sunday Slam. And then after that, we move into the women's IC title match. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria in a no disqualification, no count out. The only way to win is by pinfall or submission. And if Lyra loses, she can never challenge for the IC title again as long as Becky Lynch holds the belt. Now, again, this is like the men's IC title. I really thought Lyra Valkyria was going to win the whole entire way up until the segment on Monday Night Raw, which I thought was really adorable. I know a lot of people are giving her a lot of crap for it. I really liked the little dance, and she goes, "These are my Becky stompers." I just thought that was so cute. And I mean that completely earnestly. And I thought she looked like a badass when, she saw the music playing. She goes, okay, well, Becky's not out yet, so maybe she's behind me. And she just fully sends. She doesn't even look back. She just full sends, and boom, yep, there she was right there. And then she stood tall, which again, wrestling tropes show. if someone stands tall before the show, that means they lose at the show. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I am going to stick with my gut. I'm not going to change tactic like I do with AJ Styles, but I will stick my ground here and still say Lyra Valkyria wins. But there is a lot of intrigue if Becky Lynch wins, especially after the promo Bayley had as well. That, you know, you can do Bayley versus Becky, where Bayley inadvertently cost Lyra Valkyria the title, where, you know, again, there's those shades of gray, but then she faces Becky for the IC title, and she does beat Becky, and then Lyra can go back and attack. You get Bayley versus Lyra, or maybe Bayley does just turn, and you get Bayley versus Lyra in a blood feud while Becky continues to elevate the mid-card as it goes. There's a lot of benefit to Becky winning, and I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it at all. I think this is, again, night 2 is just so good compared to night 1. There's a lot of matches on there that could just really steal the show. I wouldn't mind Becky winning, but I'm still going to go with Lyra. I'm going to stick to my guns on this one because I already went away from my gut when it came to AJ Styles. I'll stick to my gut here, and I'll stick with Lyra Valkyria, but we'll be happy if Becky Lynch wins as well. Then after that, in the cool-down match, we have a steel cage for the U.S. title. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I think the booking is very easy here, right? Solo tries to escape the cage. Jacob Fatu catches him and beats him up. Solo Sikoa tries to escape the cage. Jacob Fatu catches him and beats him up. Solo Sikoa almost escapes the cage. Jacob Fatu has a big steel cage spot. 1, 2, 3, or maybe then his family, Solo's family tree comes in. Solo gets cocky, does his little dance. That's really, really fun. And then Jacob Fatu clears house. 1, 2, 3 wins. Jacob Fatu is winning the United States title here, and then hopefully we can just move on. We could do the Damian Priest versus Jacob Fatu match, or Aleister Black versus Jacob Fatu. Solo Sikoa can do something else. Maybe he feuds with the loser of that of the Aleister versus Damian match on SmackDown, which should be happening on SummerSlam, by the way. But yeah, I think the booking is pretty simple. Solo Sikoa tries to escape, Jacob Fatu catches him, and you just continue to do that cat and mouse game until we get to the finish where Jacob Fatu ultimately hits that moonsault. Maybe he does it off the top of the cage again after he throws Solo off, because Solo almost escapes, but Jacob Fatu throws him. He's laying on the ground, and then he does that Samoan moonsault from the top of the cage. It would be a good visual. And then he wins the U.S. title, and then that's all she wrote. And then that leads us into the WWE title street fight. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I already gave it away. Cody Rhodes is going to win it. There's going to be a lot of bells and whistles within this. I'm not really sure how everything's going to go now that Travis Scott won't show up. And I don't know if we plan on fully turning Cena babyface within this. Again, he loses here. Post this, I would like to see an epilogue where like he's turned, but he's not fully there yet because he has to get forgiveness, right? Which, again, epilogue match against AJ Styles. Do you have Randy Orton come out? Because now Travis Scott's not going to show up. Is The Rock going to make a surprise appearance? And then after, Cody does get the 1, 2, 3, and Rock beats him up, and then Cody comes to help him, and then Cena raises Cody's hand properly, a la WrestleMania 18, Hulk Hogan versus The Rock, and it kind of comes full circle now that Rock's beat him up instead of the NWO on Hogan. I think there's a lot of parallels that you can do there too, but would The Rock really show up? I don't think so. Travis Scott, again, won't be there since WWE and him had a falling out, or is that a ruse? And then, if Cena's going to have people come out to help him, who would it be? Because he made so many enemies. There's Logan Paul. In that case, would Drew come out? Because Drew also kind of hates Cena. It's a lot of very weird, confusing things that can happen. But overall, it ends with Cody Rhodes winning with the 1, 2, 3. If Randy Orton is to RK Jelly Roll on night 1, does Randy Orton immediately come out after this and RKO Cody Rhodes so that we make it clear this is what we're going to do, move past it? But yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've enjoyed the Cena heel turn. And I think then within a street fight just has an opportunity for a lot more fun. I don't know if we're necessarily do the full double turn, but I do think Cody is going to punish Cena, and he's going to, need it. Now, we'll see what happens on Friday, because, Cody asked for the babyface Cena in his promo. Will babyface Cena show up? That will probably give more indication as we head into Sunday Slam. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a double turn. I think Cody's going to stay face. He's going to beat up Cena. He's going to punish John Cena. Again, we'll see what happens Friday. But right now, I think he's going to punish John Cena, but nothing that we will go, ooh, Cody's a bad guy now. He's so reluctant on the punishment. And then he's going to hold the title at the end. There probably will be help. Maybe Logan Paul comes out. I couldn't see R-Truth coming out again. I actually could see that because he still wants to attack Cena. And then maybe Cody Rhodes is okay with it. I don't know. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how the booking goes. But yeah, overall, Cody Rhodes wins. And then that's how SummerSlam ends. And then, again, we move into babyface Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton in the back half of 2025 to carry us out. But yeah, those are my predictions on SummerSlam. Comment below. Let me know your predictions on your order of matches and how you see the booking go. Leave a like if you made this far within the video. It's pretty long. My dog's even frustrated with it. And again, hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into my YouTube career. And again, squeeze the day, guys, because life is too short to not squeeze every opportunity that you can. And until next time, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.